We have to discuss it. So the Suns sent out a tweet today, and unfortunately they said the Phoenix Suns today announced that guard Bradley Beal will be out and reevaluated in 3 weeks as he continues to rehab a low back strain. This timeline was determined following further evaluation and consultation on his injury. So it's official, 3 weeks at least without Bradley Beal. They are calling it now a low back strain instead of soreness, which is what we were getting early on. This sucks. Like, it's a bummer. I fully understand everyone's frustrations around it. Like, we thought we were going to get the big 3 on Wednesday. It got delayed, and now it's getting delayed even further. But at the end of the day, it's better for him to get fully healthy earlier on in the season than continue to try and work through this while he's playing and make it worse for himself and this team in the long run.
1,000,000%. Listen, we got to get right. We got to get Bradley Beal right. Like that, just by any means necessary, he needs to fix his body. It's the first time, according to him, it's the first time he's ever had a back injury, and this has been a struggle. And he just needs to get this right. The Suns don't need to do him any disservice. They need to make sure that he is fully healthy when he comes back, so that way he can give this team their very best down the stretch. The most important thing is when we get to January, February, he has that opportunity to kind of work himself back in, so that way by the time we get to March and April, when it really matters, he's ready to go. Mm-hmm. So I don't really care how many games he misses. I just want to see a healthy Bradley Beal, because we saw a little glimpse of it for a half against the Lakers, and you saw what he could do, and he is phenomenal. But when he's not healthy, he's not really part of the team.
Look, guys, I consulted with the greatest medical minds that Twitter has to offer. I read an article on Sports Illustrated, and I am officially just really concerned that this is it. That they're going to have to amputate the back, and this is over.
No, not the back.
And the Suns are doomed for eternity because of it. Look, shut them down for the time being, and like I said in pregame, I don't care what your record in November and December is. What matters is, those 16 wins come playoff time. So get them right and then bring them in. And as you saw tonight, if Book and KD are healthy, you're all right. You'll be okay. And you let Bradley Beal get healthy, and then you bring a third star into this. Yeah. Like that's what you need to do. That's the correct move. Like you said, like Flex is saying in the chat, it's what needed to be done, and I'm glad they finally went here. I was concerned when they put him back in the game the other night when he obviously was hurting, so his back tightened back up. Just let him rest.
He's a bacchiotomy.
Okay, so there's a couple there's a couple things I do want to address as far as Bradley Beal goes. And this one I'm not seeing in the chat. We did see it in the chat in pregame. And we've seen it on Twitter. A lot of people asking if we can trade Bradley Beal or calling for him to be traded. We're going to put a hard pause. We're full stop, okay, on that conversation. One, Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. And a lot of people are confused because they thought that he waived the no-trade clause when he came to Phoenix. Yes, for that specific trade. He waived it with the Wizards to come to Phoenix, but it is still in his contract. So if the Suns wanted to move him, he would have to waive it again to go wherever else. Also, the Suns aren't going to trade Bradley Beal. Nobody's going to trade for an injured player. And then when it comes to the injury, we're seeing a lot of people talk about how Bradley Beal has had this back issue for a really long time, dating back to the Wizards, which I saw all over. So I thought that was something that was happening as well. But I don't think that's actually the case. Whatever injuries he was dealing with the Wizards was not seemingly related to what he's dealing with here with the Suns. And he actually spoke about this after his first game back on November 8th when we played the Bulls. This is what he said post-game to Dwayne Rankin.
Yeah, it's frustrating and it is tricky. I mean, one, I've never had a back injury, so I don't really know how to approach it. I don't really know how to deal with it, and in most cases, and it's a fine line between you don't want to push through something that can make it worse, and is it something that you may have to push through. So it's like I have no idea type thing, and we're kind of approaching it like it's a day-to-day. and just treating it as best we can.
How much was Saturday's workout a turning? Maybe not a turning point, but a point where you like, okay, I got through that. Now I'm on the downhill.
Every workout was different.
Okay.
I would have good days, bad days. In terms of recovery and how I felt afterwards. And I think that was the biggest challenge. Like I can push through any workout. If I can be hard-headed and go play 30 minutes when I'm probably not supposed to. But how I feel after that, probably not the greatest. So that's why I lean on our staff and our doctors. To kind of be the voice for me. Because I'll be hard-headed and get out there and play, and that probably won't be the best thing. So there's a lot of times they just tell me to sit down and just be smart about it.
I know we brought that up because he mentioned he hadn't had a back injury, but I think the last part is just as important. He talks about how if it were up to him, he'd probably go out there even when he wasn't supposed to.
Same with Book.
Yeah, and that that the training staff was going to have to keep him honest, and they did that. That's what this is about. Is a medical staff going, let's get it right. Let's do it right. And look, I talked with some of the greatest general manager minds on Twitter today. I read a few articles about trade offers, and I heard Taco Bell for Bradley Beal. I've heard, you can get everybody on the Bulls for Bradley Beal. That's what these GMs on the streets are saying tonight. So.
the GM.
It's tough out here for a GM on the street, all right?
It is. But yeah, so we just kind of wanted to provide a little bit more context around it. Like he was saying, he's never had to deal with a back injury, so he doesn't really know what all goes into it. When we looked it up on Fox Sports, they have like all of the injuries that he's kind of been listed as having. You have to go all the way back to 2021, December of 2021. No, wait, where'd it go? Sorry, April of 2021 to find the only time back was mentioned. So it was April 10th, 2021. Everything else before and after that, none of it was back related until he got to the Suns.
Yeah.
So just a little food for thought. And also, like a reminder, it does suck. I'm disappointed too, but the sky is not falling. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are more than capable of carrying this team. And when we finally get to add Bradley Beal, it's going to be even better. And we're going to have a blast both while we're waiting for him to come back and when he does come back.
It reminds me of a Black Friday purchase I had a handful of years ago. Went to Walmart, bought a 58-inch television, got it home, entire screen was shattered. Right?
Did you drop it?
So, no, it was just like that. So I went and got another one. The TV still works to this day. Bradley Beal will be there. He will work for this team for years. This is a minor setback for, like Saul said, a major comeback.
I'm sorry. We're sitting in front of two TV screens. One of them's got sports, and the other one's got some crazy shit on it. I was completely distracted. I don't even know what the hell just happened the last minute.
Basically, it's just the sky's not falling, and we're going to be okay.
Listen,
That's it.
About Bradley Beal, okay, yes, I know he's been injured, and he is considered injury prone. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker aren't exactly the epitome of always healthy all the time. Right? They all get dinged up from time to time because they play at such a high level all the time. Like, you have to take the good with the bad. And with Bradley Beal, one of the things I really don't like about some fan bases is how quickly they can turn on somebody because of their availability. Listen, he's not available right now. It absolutely sucks. But you'd rather him be okay for the stretch run when you're competing for a world championship as opposed to Game 12 against the stupid Utah Jazz, okay? Yes. It doesn't matter right now. And for everybody just losing their mind about it, just take a quick step back, calm yourselves, take an OGs, and realize that we have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker that are playing at a high level. They're playing great basketball. This team is starting to get it together, and they're going to fix everything. It's going to be all right. Just chill.
Flex brought up a good point in the chat, too, that you don't send a guy that has a serious back issue on a plane unnecessarily. He's in he was in Utah tonight. What I do want to see, I want them to get him the Phil Jackson chair that was supposedly for backs. I don't want him sitting on
I don't
that
like, I
regular
don't like when he
folding
starts
chair.
doing this.
Nah,
No.
that or let him do the Nash and lay on the baseline. I don't want to see any of this crappy Utah folding chair stuff anymore.
Yeah, and just like Sean says in the chat, they were never going to play all 82.
No, of course
so
not.
why does it matter if it's right now instead of like a couple games later on? Like I'd rather it be right now.